Hello everybody, it's Crystal. So I never made one of these before. This is Balaclava. I think that's how you say it, and I don't know if this is really what it's supposed to look like. I mentioned on Facebook that if you've seen South Park before, you would know that if I made this in orange and brown, it would look like Kenny. So this is kind of what it is. It just slides over your head, and then you've seen a picture of it there with it tied up. You can leave the strings off if you want. I don't know, I kind of wish I would have used a different color. It's kind of giving off, medieval helmet vibes, but it is what it is. I never made one before. I just kind of I winged it, and maybe I'll do better next time, but hopefully some of you will like this. So let's go ahead and get started on it. All right, I'll show you it off the mannequin, and I'll show you what yarn I used. Okay, so as I mentioned, it's my first time making this, so it is what it is. This is suitable for, it's gender neutral, and I do mention in the video that you can make this longer, because I know some people like them long, and how to make it wider as you go down. If you want to, you could leave the string off if you want. You could add less rows here, more rows here. You know what, I didn't really know what I was doing, so it starts out like the hat crown part, and then I kind of split it, and then I just kind of rolled with it, and came out kind of not looking like what I don't think it's supposed to look like this, but hey, you know what? Some things just are what they are, This would be suitable for probably for like, I'm sure 18 to probably 23 inch head, maybe even 24. It's got lots of room, and especially with the tie, it will fit. You can tie it up, but I said you can leave that tie off. So let's go and talk about the yarn that I used. All right, I got yarn tails everywhere. This was like a crazy project. I'm like, what in the world's going on? All right, for this project, I use Loopsome Threads, which is a Michaels brand, soft classic. It's just a 100% acrylic, medium weight number 4. So any medium weight number 4 yarn will work. There are 354 yards per ball, so this is what I got left. So I'm gonna say that you're probably gonna need about 200. Well, I use 2 different colors. You don't have to use 2 different colors. 250, 60 yards of like your main color. But if you want to make it longer, of course, you're gonna need more yarn. But this color is color gray. There it is. Perfect color. And then I just use a little bit of this, not much, probably, I don't know, 30 yards at most. And this color is called charcoal. It's the same yarn, just different labeling. But like I said, any 4-weight yarn will be just fine. And then I used, what we got here? Oh, it's my favorite. A size J, which is a 6mm crochet hook. Alright, let's do it. Alright, you guys ready? Got your magic wand? Let's do it. Okay, we're going to start with a slip knot on our hook. Alright, you can use the magic circle here if you prefer. I do not. So what I'm going to do is chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm going to slip stitch back into the first stitch to form a ring. I'm going to throw my tail over. I like to put my middle finger in between the hook and the chain. You don't have to do that. Then I slip stitch. That just holds it in place for me a little bit better. All right, and I'm going to chain 1. Now that chain 1 does not count as a stitch. All right, it doesn't count as anything. Now we're going to be working through the center of the ring. What you want to do is take this tail with you, and you want to hide it as you go. Crochet it in with you, all right? So there it is. We're going to work 12 double crochets through the center of the ring, making sure we crochet that tail with us as we go. All right. So there is 1, getting that tail, make sure he goes in there. 2, 3, 4. I'm going to continue until I get a total of 12, making sure I carry that tail along with me the whole way through. Alright, so I got my 12 double crochets. I'm going to go ahead and end round 1 by slip stitching into my first double crochet. Now what I'm going to do is take that tail that I carried with me the whole time, give it a nice tight tug. Oh my gosh, hit my camera as I go. I'm sorry about that. Look at that. It's like it never even happened, huh? Alright, let's continue along. Let's go ahead and start row 2. We're going to chain 1, which does not count as a stitch. Now we're going to work right back here, back into this very first stitch that we just slip stitched into, and we're going to work 2 double crochets into that stitch. So there's 1, and there's 2. Now for round 2, we're going to work around. We're going to work 2 double crochets into every single stitch all the way around. So there's 1, and there's 2 in the next. And then I'm going to jump to the next one, and I'm going to work 2. There's 1, and there's 2. So round 2 is 2 double crochets in every single stitch all the way back around to our starting point. Alright, so I made it to the end of round 2, and you should have a total of 24 stitches. Let's go ahead and end by slip stitching into our first double crochet. Now what we're going to do, so we're going to chain 1 and we're going to turn our work. You're probably like, what? Why are you turning your work? Why are you turning your work? You'll see later. You'll see why I'm turning my work later. All right. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go back into that same stitch right here that we just slip stitched into. This one right here. And we're going to work 1 double crochet into that stitch. Like that. Now the next stitch over here, we're going to work 2 double crochets into that one. So there's 1, and there is 2, and that is going to be the repeat for round 3. So we're going to put 1 double crochet into the next stitch, and then 2 double crochets into the next. There's 1, and there's 2. 1 double crochet into the next stitch, and then 2 double crochets into the next. There's 1, and there's 2. So we're going to repeat this pattern of 1 double, 2 double, 1 double, 2 double, 1 double, 2 double, all the way around until we make it back to our starting point. Alright, so I made it to the end of round 3, and you should have ended with 2 double crochets there in your last stitch. And we're going to end by slip stitching into our first double crochet, and you should have a total of 36 stitches. So we're going to chain 1, and we're going to turn our work again. Alright, so we're going to go right back into this very first stitch, and we're going to work 1 double crochet. So we're starting round 4 right now. And then in the next stitch right here, we're going to work 1 double crochet. So that was 2 double crochets that we did in a row. 1, 2. Now the next stitch is going to get 2 double crochets in the same stitch. So there's 1, and there's 2. And that's what we're going to repeat all the way around for round 4. 1 double crochet in each of the next 2 stitches. So there's 1 there, and then the next one we put 1, and then the next one is 2 doubles into the same stitch. Again, 1 double into the next 2. There's 1 there, 1 in the next, and then 2 into the next. And we're going to repeat this pattern of 1 double, 1 double, 2 double, 1 double, 1 double, 2 double, all the way around until we make it back to our starting point. Alright, so I made it to the end of round 4, 2 doubles in your last stitch, and you should have a total of 48 stitches. So let's go ahead and end round 4 by slip stitching into our first double crochet, chain 1, and again we're going to turn our work. Now this time around we're going to double crochet right back here where we just slip stitched, and then we're going to double crochet in each of the next 2 stitches. So counting that first double crochet, we have 3 double crochets in a row, and then the next stitch is going to get 2 doubles into the same stitch. And that is going to be the repeat now for round 5. 1 double crochet into the next 3 stitches. So there's 1, 2, there's 3, and then 2 doubles into the next. So you want to go ahead and repeat that pattern for round 5. 1 double, 1 double, 1 double, 2 doubles. 1 double, 1 double, 1 double, 2 doubles. And I'll meet back up with you at our starting point. Alright, so I'm coming to the end of round 5. You should have ended with 2 double crochets in your last stitch, and you should have a total of 60 stitches now. Let's go ahead and end by slip stitching into our first double crochet and pull up a little bit. Let's do a measurement on the crown. Alright, I usually shoot for the size that that I make it anywhere between 6 to 6 3/4, something like that, across. There we go. That's gonna work out for me just fine. All right, that's just something like that. 6 to 7 probably be just fine. Begin row 6. So we're not going to do any more increasing at this point right now of the crown. So what we're going to do is chain 1 and turn our work. Now we are going to go back into that very first stitch and double crochet, and this is round 6. It's just going to be 1 double crochet in every stitch all the way around. All right, all the way around, working 1 double in every stitch. So no more increasing here at this point. So I will meet back up with you at the end of round 6. Alright, so after you make it to the end of round 6, you just slip stitch into your first stitch and you will have 60 stitches. And then you will repeat round 6 for 7 and 8. You will make sure that you chain 1 and turn your work, and then you'll do a double crochet all the way around, and then 60 stitches again, and then round 8, chain 1, turn your work, and you'll have 60 stitches again. So I've already finished that out. So round 6, 7, and 8 are all the same. I just turned my work at the end of each round, and it was 1 double crochet in every stitch. All right, and I ended in a slip stitch here in my first double crochet. So now we're going to chain 1 and turn, and we're going to go back into this first stitch and double crochet, and we want to do a double crochet into the next 36 stitches, starting with this first one here. So we're going to go in and double crochet. So that's 1. We want to do 36. 2, 3, 4, 5, and I'm going to continue over to here until have got 36 stitches completed. Alright, so this was round 9 that we're on, and I have completed 36 stitches. Alright, so now we're going to continue in this same manner. We're going to chain 1 and turn and go back again, working 1 double crochet in every stitch for round 10, 36 stitches back and forth for a little while. Now you should have 24 that remains empty up front. So I'm just finished round 9, and I'm going to begin round 10. I'm gonna chain 1. I'm gonna go back in that first stitch and double crochet, and I'm going to work around putting 1 double in every stitch until I make it back around to the other side. And you'll have 36 stitches when you make it back around, or make it back to here. And then when you make it back to here, you would start row 11 by chaining 1 and turning and going back across again. You get over here around 12, chain 1 and turn, go back again. So we're just working across this back half right now. We're not doing anything with these 24 stitches that we left open at the moment. All right, just make sure that you chain 1 and turn your work every time. So now you can see the reason why I did it at the crown, so it would match the back and forth method that we have to do down the sides and the back of the piece. All right, so I'm on round 10. I'm going to keep going back and forth 36 stitches, making sure that I turn my work every time, and I'll let you know exactly how many I do here in just a second. All right, so I have done a total of 16 rows, and that is counting from row 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way down is 16. Now we're going to do a little bit of increasing. Try to make it go up under our chin. How about that? So we're going to chain 1. We still have 36 stitches. We're going to start row 17. We're going to chain 1 and turn. We're going to put 2 double crochets into the very first stitch. So there's 1, and then there's 2. Okay, now we're going to work 1 double crochet into every stitch across until we make it to the last stitch of our row. So this is row 17. We started with 2 doubles in the very first stitch, and now we'll work in 1 double in every stitch, and I'll meet back up with you at the last stitch. Alright, so I've come to the end of round 17, and I'm at my last stitch. I'm going to put 2 double crochets into my last stitch. So we increased at the beginning of the stitch and at the end. So now instead of 36 stitches, we're going to have 38 at the end of round 17. So we're going to start round 18 by chaining 1 and turning, and we're going to do that again. So we're going to put 2 double crochets into the very first stitch, and then we're going to put 1 double crochet into every stitch across until we make it to the last stitch of round 18. All right, I'll meet back up with you. Alright, so I've made it here to the last stitch of round 18, and we're going to go ahead and put 2 double crochets into that last stitch, and now you should have a total of 40 stitches. Now we're going to chain 1 and turn, and we're going to start round 19 by putting 3 double crochets into the very first stitch. Alright, so we're putting 3 this time. There's 1, 2, and 3, and then we're going to work 1 double crochet in every stitch across until we get to the last stitch of our row. Alright, I'm coming to the end of round 19, my last stitch. I'm going to put 3 double crochets into the last stitch. You have a total of 44 stitches now. And let's go ahead and start round 20. We're going to just repeat round 19. We're going to chain 1 and turn. And we're going to put 3 double crochets into the very first stitch. There's 1, 2, and there's 3. And then we're going to put 1 double crochet in every stitch until we get to the last stitch, and then we will put 3 double crochets into our last stitch here. And this is row 20 that we're on. So it was 3 doubles in the first, 1 double in every stitch, and then we'll put 3 doubles into the last. All right, I'll meet back up with you at the end of round 20. Okay, so at the end of round 20 here, I put 3 double crochets into my last stitch, and you'll have 48 stitches now. Now what we're going to do, we're not going to chain 1 and turn at this moment. What we're going to do now is we're going to work a chain of 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And then we're going to come over here without twisting that chain, if possible, and we're going to slip stitch into the top of this double crochet on the opposite side. So counting the 48 stitches we have plus the chain 12, which we'll be working in, we'll have 60. All right, 48 stitches and then a chain of 12. All right, so what we're going to do now is we're not going to turn our work on this round. This would be round 21. We're just going to chain 1, and we're going to go back into this first double crochet here, and we're going to work 1 double crochet into it. So we're just going to work 1 double crochet in every stitch around until we make it over here to this chain over here, and that's where I'll meet back up with you, okay? Just like this, all the way around, and I'll meet you up with you at this chain. All right, so I've made it to my chain, and now I just want to put 1 double crochet in every stitch of the chain. So there should be 12 here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12 is the last one. We will end by slip stitching into our first double crochet, and we should be back up to 60 stitches now. All right, so now we are going to chain 1, and we're going to turn our work, and we're going to just work all the way around, putting 1 double crochet in every stitch. So right back into this very first stitch we go with the double crochet, like that, and then it's 1 in every stitch all the way back around until we get back to our starting point, and we'll have 60 stitches when we make it back around, back to where we started. All right, so I'm going to continue around. See, we're just going around here and back around to my starting point. Okay, let me back up with you right here. All right, so you want to continue in that same manner how we just went around and around a couple more times until we have a total starting from the very top all the way down, all the way down. We have 60 stitches, and you should have 23 rounds now. All right, 23 rounds. So I got 1, 2, 3 across the chain here. All right, so round 24, we're going to chain 1 and turn. We're going to do an increase round. All right, so we're going to go back in to the very first stitch and double crochet. We want to do 4 double crochets in a row, and then 2 double crochets in the next. So that would be number 1. There's 2. There's 3. And there's 4. And the next one we will put 2 doubles into the same stitch. And that will be the repeat for round 24. We're increasing on this row. So again, 1 double crochet into the next 4. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 2 doubles into the next. So go ahead and repeat this pattern of 1 double into the next 4 and then 2 doubles in the next, all the way around your entire piece until we make it back to our starting point. All right, this is round 24. It is an increase round. All right, so I finished with round 24. Your last stitch should have had 2 double crochets in it, and you should have a total of 72 stitches now. Now, if it appears like it's a little big, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. We'll take care of it, because we still have to go around it with edging and whatnot, and it, you know, it will be okay. Like I always said, if it's not, you'll never see it, so you won't you won't know. All right, so for round 25, what we're going to do, we're not going to do any more increasing. So this part is really up to you, because this is a part that's kind of go you know, down your neck and whatnot. So you can make this as long as you want it to be. If you don't want it to go, you know, real far down your neck, you don't have to. If you want it to kind of bunch up around your neck, you just do more rows. So round 25, I'm going to chain 1, I'm going to turn, and I'm just going to do rounds of 1 double crochet in every stitch until I get back to my starting point. And I'll have 72 stitches here for the rest of this particular piece here. And like I said, you can determine however many rows you want to do for this, because I know some people like these type of things longer, and some people don't like them to be very long. I don't know, some people like to tuck them in their shirts, some people don't. You know, it's yours, not mine. So you make it to your likings. So, you know, it's customizable. But you would just continue to do rounds of 1 double crochet in every stitch till you get it as long as you want it to be. Now, if you feel like, this is another thing you can do to adjust it. If you feel like you're going down and you want it to like go down even like further on your shoulders, you can do another round of increases at any point, which would be, I'm not going to do that, but if you wanted to do that, you definitely could. Like if you, you know, depending on how far down you want it to go, what do you want it to look like. But if you did want to do that, you would increase again at, you know, whenever you decided that you wanted it to, this part of the neck to be bigger, by putting a double crochet into the next 5 and then 2 doubles into the next all the way around, and you would have a total of 84 stitches. So that is, and then you can continue around doing 1 double crochet, and it would make it a bit, you know, make it a bit larger. That's completely up to you. Like I'm just throwing out some ideas, you know. I always say I lay it out and you play it out. It's your crochet, it's not mine. You do you, I do me. I'm keeping it at 72. I don't want mine to go down extremely far, but you know, some people like theirs to go down far, so you know, you do however many rows you want to do. So I'm going to continue around until I get mine the length that I want mine to be. You continue around till you get yours the length that you want yours to be. And like I said, you make it wider in the manner that I said, increasing it again if you choose. That's on you. And then I'll meet back up with you, and we'll do something with this, all this. See all this right here? We got to take care of that, all right? We'll get it taken care of, okay? I'll see you in a bit. All right, so I only did 26 rounds. Remember, you do as many as you want if you want yours longer. For the purpose of the tutorial, I did 26 total. That's starting from number 1 up here, all the way down, 26. So, but again, if you want to add another row of increases like I talked about, make it longer, whatever. Remember, it's your hat, or whatever this is. It's yours. All right, now we're going to work on like this little dealy thing we got going on here. All right, let's see what we can do to improve this. So I clip my yarn. Once you get it as long as you want it to be, you want to go ahead and clip your yarn off, all right? Clip it off. And we're going to start fresh. Now, I'm going to start, let's see where I want to start at. I'm going to start up here in the corner. Okay. And we're going to be working all around in here. And we're going to be working the sides of these doubles where you can't hardly see where you need to put your stitches. And then, of course, up here where you can see where your stitches need to go. All right, so I'm going to start my yarn. What I like to think about is every double crochet will receive 2 stitches in it, all right, when you're working on the sides of them. So let's start in the row, the very first row, the second row before, you know, before we branched off, all right? So not this one, but this one. And I'm going to start at the bottom of that double crochet so I can put 2 double crochets into the side of that double. So I'm going to chain 1. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go back into it and I'm going to put a double crochet in the side of that double. And then I'm going to put another double crochet into the side of the same double, because it kind of doesn't have to be exact. You don't have to get it, you know, it doesn't have to be perfect. Just kind of go in there and double crochet like that. Now I'm going to do some double crochet decreases so we can kind of round this out a little bit up here at the corner. So here we are at the side of a double crochet. See it? It's the first row that we veered off, you know, and didn't go around and around. So I'm going to go into the bottom of that side of that double crochet, draw up a loop, and yarn over and go through the first 2 loops. Now I'm going to yarn over and go into the top part of the side of this double crochet, draw up a loop. Now I'm going to yarn over and go through the first 2 loops. Now we're going to be working where you can kind of see the stitches. See that? Up here. This is where we veered off. So I'm going to yarn over again, and I'm going to go into this first stitch that's unworked. Not this one. This one's been worked. This first stitch here. So I'm yarning over and going into that and drawing up a loop, and I'm going to yarn over and go through the first 2 loops. And one more time I'm going to yarn over and go into the next stitch and draw up a loop and yarn over and go through the first 2 loops. So we just did a double crochet 4 together, and we should have 5 loops on our hook. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now I need to do this really tight. Try to get as tight as possible. Go through all the loops like that. All right. Now we're going to work 1 double crochet in every stitch across until we get to the other corner, and we're going to do the same double crochet 4 together around that corner that we just did over here on this side. So I'm going to go across here, and I'll meet back up with you. I'm going to put a double crochet in this stitch, and I'll meet up with you when we have these 2 stitches here left that before we veered off here to the sides, okay? All right, so we're going to do the same thing here that we just did over here, a double crochet 4 together. And it's going to be worked over this stitch, and then this first row here that we veered off on our own, we weren't working in rounds anymore. 1 double crochet at the top of this double crochet, and one at the bottom of it. Because remember, we're saying that each of these rows is going to have 2 double crochets on the sides of them. All right, so we're going to yarn over and go into this next stitch and draw up a loop, and yarn over and go through the first 2 loops. Yarn over and go into the next stitch, draw up a loop, yarn over and go through the first 2 loops. Try to get this as tight as possible as well. Okay, here we are at this double crochet on the side. We're going to yarn over and kind of go into the top part of that double crochet, draw up a loop, yarn over and go through the first 2 loops. And then one more time, kind of at the bottom, doesn't have to be perfect, of that double crochet, draw up a loop, yarn over and go through the first 2 loops. 5 loops remain, tight, yarn over and go through all 5. There we go. Now what we're going to do is try to evenly space out our double crochets all the way down until we get to the last row here before we started making a circle again. All right, see this row? So I'm going to evenly space out 2 double crochets on the sides of each of these double crochets. You know, the best that I can. It doesn't have to be perfect. If you miss a stitch, it's okay. It's not gonna hurt anything. Just do the best that you can, and that will be the best. So see how I'm kind of just going in the side of the stitch, kind of like at the top part of the double, and then kind of at the bottom of the double. And then I go to the next row and I kind of try to look to see, do the same thing, top of the double. See, I don't think that one's gonna go very well there. I'm just gonna evenly space them out. There we go. Trying to put 2 double crochets on the sides of each of the double crochets. All right, all the way down until we make it to, even along the sides of these decreases, until we make it to this last row here before we started making it around again. All right, I've made it down, evenly spacing out the best that I could to my last row here before we started, before we made that chain and started going around in a circle again. So we're going to do the double crochet 4 together again. 2 into the side of this double, and then 2 in the first stitches here. All right, let's yarn over, go into the top part of the side of this double, draw up a loop and yarn over and go through the first 2. Yarn over and go into the bottom part of the side of this double, draw up a loop and yarn over and go through the first 2. Now we're going to come over here to these 2 stitches that are not worked of the chain. Go into the first one, draw up a loop, yarn over and go through the first 2, and then the next one, draw up a loop, yarn over and go through the first 2. 5 loops, do it as tight as you can. Go through all 5 loops. There we go. Now we're going to work 1 double crochet in every stitch here. Across this chain that we made until we get to the last 2 empty stitches. And we'll do the same thing in that corner that we've done in all the other corners. Alright, so I'll meet back up with you. Well, I'm almost there. I'll just go ahead and finish it out. I'm working 1 double until I get to the last 2 empty stitches here. Okay, I am at them. Alright, So we're going to do the double crochet 4 together again, this one, and then this first row here before we veered off, making it a circle again. Double crochet, double crochet, double crochet, double crochet. Do them all together. So yarn over and go in and draw up a loop, and yarn over and go through the first 2. Remember, you do want to try to do this as tight as you can. Yarn over and go into the next empty one, draw up a loop, yarn over and go through the first 2. All right, now we're on the side row here, the first side row. And we got to do a double crochet kind of at the bottom of this double and kind of at the top, but we're going to do them together. So we're going to yarn over, go kind of in the bottom of that double crochet, draw up a loop, yarn over and go through the first 2, yarn over and kind of go into the top part of that double, draw up a loop, yarn over and go through the first 2, 5 loops as tight as you can, go through all 5. There we go, we did it. Now we will continue evenly spacing out our double crochets, trying to put 2 to each row. Like I said, it does not have to be exact. Everybody's going to have a different number of stitches here, I guarantee it. And you know what? That is perfectly fine. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. No one's going to be able to tell. So, but just do your best to try to get 2 double crochets on the sides of each of these rows of double crochet. And I'll meet back up with you here at our starting point. Alright, so I have made it back to my starting point, and I'm going to end by slip stitching into my first double crochet. There we go. Now, I'm going to go around this whole piece with a row of single crochet, and then I'm going to switch colors. You don't have to switch colors if you don't want to, but I am, well, let me think for a minute. Do I want to switch colors? Do I want to switch colors? You know, I think that I don't yet. I'm going to do one more round. I'm going to go around one more time with this color. You switch whenever you want, though, you know. I am going to switch colors, but so I'm going to chain 1. And let me look at it and see if we need to do any more weird decreasing here. Okay. All right. Okay. Let's go ahead and double crochet back into that same stitch. And double crochet into the next stitch. Okay. Now we are at where we did our double crochet 4 together last time. Let's do a double crochet 3 together here. All right, so let's yarn over, and we're going into that double crochet 4 together. You want to do this as tight as possible, and yarn over and go through the first 2, and then we're going to go into the next stitch right here, draw up a loop, yarn over and go through the first 2 loops on your hook, and then one more time. We're doing 3 of them. Yarn over and go, draw up a loop, yarn over, go through the first 2. This time you're only going to have 4 loops on your hook, as tight as possible. Go through all 4. All right, and then we're going to work 1 double crochet in every stitch until we get to the last 2 stitches before our double crochet decrease of the previous row. So you should be able to see your stitches quite well now, since we already went around the whole piece and cleaned up all those side crochets, all those side doubles. Make it easier to see your stitches now, like this. So I'm almost there here. Well, I'm going to keep going. I'll meet back up with you at these last 2 stitches right here before our decrease from the previous row. All right, here I am. So we're going to do the double crochet 3 together, just like we did over here on this corner, starting with well, I don't need this to the stitch worked. Sorry about that. Okay, so these 2 empty stitches at the top, and then the double crochet decrease from the previous row. We're going to do a double crochet 3 together. So go in, do as tight as you can, drop a loop and go through the first 2, go into the next empty, drop a loop, yarn over, go through the first 2, and then we're going into the double crochet 4 together from the previous row, tight as possible. Drop a loop and go through the first 4 loops this time, tight as possible, yarn over and go through all 4. Here we go. And now we're going to just continue, and we're going to work down, putting 1 double crochet in every stitch. Oh, see, it's a lot easier now going down the side since we've already done it once. Let me look down here. I think we're just going to go ahead and we're not going to do any more decreasing down here because this looks pretty clean. So we're just going to put 1 double crochet now in every stitch all the way around until we make it back to our starting point. And then I'm going to change colors. But you don't have to if you don't want to. But I'll meet back up with you right here. Alright, so I made it back around and I ended with a slip stitch into my first double crochet. Now, I'm tying off because I'm going to switch colors. If you're not going to switch colors, then you don't need to tie off. But I'm just going to go ahead and do a quick little tie off here and a quick little color change. There we go. Alright, so I'm just going to bring in a darker gray, I guess. Just, you know, added effects. Alright, I'm going to start in that same stitch here that I just ended in. I'm going to pull in my new color. And I'm going to take the tail of this one and the tail of the one that I just tied off. And I'm going to tie that knot that everybody says is a no-no. But Bagoday says it's a yes-yes. It's a must-must. Alright. Now I'm going to chain 1. I'm going to try to hide these tails as I go. And I think what we're going to do now, let's check it out, see what she looks like. Yep, I think she looks okay. I'm going to do double crochet, 1 in every stitch all the way around, so I'm not going to decrease anything. Just going to go around, putting 1 double in every stitch all the way around my entire piece until I make it back to my starting point. So I'm not doing any more of those double crochet things together. It's just 1 double in every stitch, and I will meet back up with you. Remember, we're going all the way around the face hole until we get right back here. Just 1 double all the way around. Alright, I made it back to my starting point. I'm going to end with a slip stitch into my first double crochet. Now, when we're doing this like face hole piece or whatever, you know how we're going around it, you can try it on and you can do as many rows as you'd like. Another thing that you can also do is make a long string and run it through the double crochets down here at the bottom, and then it will have a tie so you can, you know, squeeze it, you know, tie it up onto your face. I might do that, I don't know. We'll see. But I'm going to go around one more time, okay? Well, one more time in double crochet. So I'm going to chain 1, go back into the same stitch and double crochet. So 1 more round of double crochet in this color. So it's doing 1 in every stitch. Remember, you try it on. If it fits your face, okay, that's fine. If you want to do more rows than I do, that's fine. Like I said, it's yours, not mine. You make it to fit you or whoever you're making it for. And so yeah, now I'm just doing 1 double on every stitch again, all the way around. No more double crochet decreases, just, and I'll meet back up with you at our starting point. Alright, I made it around, ended with a slip stitch in my first double crochet. Now I'm not doing any more double crochets around, but I am gonna finish it off with a row of single. What if I should switch colors for this? Yeah, I'm switching colors. I'm going back to my light color. So I'm gonna tie this off here. I don't know why I'm doing this, it's silly, but it's looking like a helmet from the medieval times, so I gotta kind of yeah, I should put some pink or something on it so it doesn't look like that. It's okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull my yarn through, and again I'm going to tie my tails here and knots. You don't have to switch colors if you don't want. In fact, I don't even know why I'm switching colors so much. For fun, I guess. Now I'm going to chain one, and I'm going to go around the whole piece with just I'm going to go back in the same stitch and single crochet. One single crochet in every stitch. And this will be all the rows that I do on the front here. I'm not quite finished yet. So I'll work around putting one single crochet in every single stitch all the way around until I make it back to my starting point, and then I'll end with a slip stitch here and tie that off, okay? And then hide any tails, and then I'm going to do a couple more things real quick. Remember, you can make yours shorter or longer. It's completely up to you. Alright, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my dark color and I'm going to go around the bottom of the row of single crochet. So you can start anywhere you want. Probably start in the back somewhere. And I'm just going to do one row of single crochet around the bottom. So I chain one, go back into that same stitch and single crochet. And then I'm going to work one single crochet in every stitch along the entire bottom, no matter how long or wide yours is. It's nice to clean it up with a row of single crochet. You could use the same color, different color, whatever you'd like. Yeah, I'm going to go all the way around, and I'm going to go all the way around here, the whole bottom. And then when I make it back over here, I am going to slip stitch into my first single crochet. I'm going to tie it off and hide my tail. Alright, I'm not really sure what's going on with this thing, but I made a chain of 100 stitches. So I'm going to make like a pull tie chain so you can tie it around. So I'm going to weave it in and out under this row, last row of double crochet before we put singles. So I'm going to try to find, just find the center. Here we are, of our face opening thing, or whatever it is. I'm just going to guess it's right about here. And pull it out like this. Now what I'm going to do is weave over and under all the way around, over and under every double crochet, all the way around. I hope my chain of 100 is long enough. If not, I will do it again. But as you can see, I'm just using my hands over and under those double crochets all the way around this row, this last row of double. So I make it back here, all right, over and under like this. That way you can kind of tie it shut, I guess. I don't know. All right, I'm going to continue. And I'll meet back up with you somewhere around here. Okay, it's done. So I don't know much about these, so, you know, so you can tie it shut. I'll do it on my mannequin. You can see it, but I guess that's it. You don't have to put string on it if you don't want to, but, you know, if you do, you can. Just gonna leave a little bit of the tail hanging here. on the ends. It's kind of like a shoelace, you know, I guess. Yeah, that's it. I wish that I would have done it in a different color. It looks very medievalish times or something. I don't know. I'll see you guys on my next video, okay? Hey, if you make this, I want to see what color you make yours in. Remember, the sky's the limit. Show me on my Facebook page, alright? Hit that subscribe button. You don't have to hit the like button, because I know this probably isn't really that cool. But that's okay. I still hope that if you do make it, you show me a picture. I'll see you guys on my next vid, alright? Take care.